This government meeting is brought to you by Eastworks and our local cable subscribers.
Welcome!
Don't make it theatrical at all.
This is the City Council of Easthampton Public Safety Committee. It is April 13th, 2023 at 6:30 p.m. We're meeting here in Room B in the basement of 50 Payson Avenue. First order, I have present here Councilors Derby and Munier. We have minutes from the last meeting.
I move to approve the minutes. Let me see if I can give you a date here.
I think it was, I have it written down actually.
I think I have it right here. It's
the 3rd, the 4th. It's April 4th, 2023.
Yep.
I'll second that. Councilor Munier, you were not here, although technically you can vote to approve minutes that you weren't present for, but you can also feel free to abstain, whatever you'd like to do. So all in favor?
Aye.
Any abstaining?
Abstain.
All right, we have minutes are approved 2-0 with 1 abstention for Councilor Munier. Public speak time. Is there anyone here from the public who would like to speak to any item that is not otherwise on the agenda? Seeing none, we'll move on. So the biggest purpose for today's meeting is there was a request to create a school zone around Mountain View School. Apparently there wasn't one there when Whitebrook Middle School was there.
Which is odd because there was a blinking sign and good evening. There was a blinking sign and a school zone sign.
There was?
There was.
Well,
so maybe it just never got.
May have not been technically ever. So it's not our traffic rules in order, and so I don't know. So this may just be a formality, just for the public and for the council. Creating a school zone will create a 20 mile per hour speed limit during certain times. We have some language proposed for that school zone. What that needs to also include, I talked to Dr. Rector Nettleman, is that actually has to also include certain times of day.
Right.
But that could, he said that we could simply write per MUTCD guidelines. I can finish up that language with him. But I'll open it up first to the committee. I don't have an issue with this. It makes sense. It allows enforcement of speed limits around the school, and there's also apparently some grants and such that the DPW is pursuing, that we need to have it officially recognized school zone there in order to allow those grants to be considered.
So I guess the initial question is, does the school zone just apply to the area that is on Park Street before you enter the Rotary to after you enter the Rotary, or does this school zone extend all the way down the drive? I mean, because we have kind of a unique situation where we have the entrance to the school is at Park Street, but the school driveway is like a quarter of a mile long. Does it extend the whole way through? I think that's a question that needs to be.
I guess the question is, that's a driveway technically, right? It's not a road. We could just include.
I mean, it should be included.
Yeah, we'll just include language to say it, and to include.
Yeah. And then, do we have the start and ending times of Mountain View School the way they currently stand? Because it seems like that would be relevant to this conversation.
We'll obtain those.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I realized we didn't have in the language.
Okay.
And I called Director Nettleman, who couldn't be here, and he said he would review what those times are. I could add them to the language afterwards if the committee didn't object to that one additional piece.
Yeah, I mean, I think we probably want to say set a time frame, like 30 minutes to an hour before the start of school to 30 minutes to an hour, like to the end of school.
Yeah.
For the and so it would be helpful to have that information, but
yeah,
if we can set that range.
Yep.
I think, and that would be fine.
So it usually looks like this. The sign will usually look something like this. So I'm showing the committee just the speed limit with it says school with a speed limit sign and then times that's enforced.
Okay. So that one shows that it's just during the drop off and pickup times.
And I think that's what's kind of
Okay,
require.
that's a request.
When
That's a
children, it's something to the effect of when children are present or something
Okay.
like that.
Yep.
So,
So when they're in school and during the day, when they're in the classroom, do you speed like you want, or?
It would probably be, it would probably
you
default.
want, like they have a speed limit too, but it's different.
it
It
would,
would default probably to like a 35, and then
Okay.
during pickup and drop off would be the 20.
correct. Yes, Councilor Gomez.
Thank you, Counselor. I just, because I live next to this former school,
Mm-hmm.
one of the old signs turn on just in the morning,
Mm-hmm.
and when they are in session, it's off.
Mm.
And then in the afternoon, when they're gonna leave the school, they turn again. I think it's something that they program it,
Yeah.
but it's not on all the time.
Right.
When the school was in session, so.
Yeah, and there's some. So when the light's flashing, there's some language that the assembly may contain sign plaques stating the days of the week and time of day when children are present, or may be supplemented with either a single yellow flashing beacon above the sign or a flashing beacon above and one below, and a plaque that says when flashing. So
Okay.
that's something like that.
That sounds fine.
So we just have to figure out the times. I forget what he had said. He said he would find them out. And then I'm happy to include language that just makes it clear that the driveway is included, although
Yep.
I could ask him also if we need to.
I mean, because it's such a large driveway. I mean, you could go 70 miles an hour on the driveway if you wanted to. I mean,
Well, the speed limit on the driveway is probably 15 miles per hour, isn't it?
I don't know if it's posted at this moment.
Even if
Okay.
it was, you don't have to follow it because it's not a city street, technically, right?
But that's a good point too.
You can't get a ticket for speeding. on
Where?
Not speeding on a driveway. If it's just a driveway, then like,
I don't.
can you post?
Yes.
I don't. The question about if it is a driveway or street, I think when they measure the distance for the school bus, if you qualify or not, I think they use the front of the building, not the driveway. So if we use the same logic, it's now not a driveway. It's a road.
It's a road.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I mean,
the
it's no official road, but the reality is that we have a few in town that we use every day. They are no official roads
Mhm.
because we never accept them.
right. The hours are 7:35 to 3:10.
For school to be in session completely. Yeah, I think that the hours when this would actually be enforced is when there's
Right.
children
Well,
coming
that's what I'm
in.
saying. So we could maybe say, 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. and then 2:30 to 3:30 or something.
Yeah.
Somewhere in that neighborhood. I mean, just while that could be a placeholder.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, he had given a 2-hour window when I spoke to him this afternoon. I don't remember why.
Okay.
I mean, I don't. So, I don't know how much of an urgency there is in this item. I got this. I think there is.
it
Yeah,
is.
that's why I want to try to. Yeah. So, I thought so too. Yeah. So, because I wanted to get it to
I
the.
talked to him
Yeah.
like a week or 2 weeks
Yeah.
ago, and he was asking if we can move this
Yeah.
Quickly?
because I think they want to install the signs as soon as
Right.
possible.
So, I think we generally agree about the concept of the school zone, correct?
Absolutely.
There's a question about the driveway. I think that we need to basically just determine if language needs to be included for that, or if there's already a presumed speed limit there, which would probably be 15, but if not, then we could certainly include language to include the driveway leading to the parking lot.
Good
Yeah.
idea.
And then just find out what the times, the recommended times would be. For some reason, when I spoke to him earlier, he had said like 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. and then another 2-hour window afterwards too.
So
So I think
2 to 4 or something.
to accommodate for late arrivals and late departures.
I think that's fine.
That's reasonable.
7 to 9, 2 to 4, those seem reasonable, especially if we're looking at a 7:35 to 3:10.
Yeah.
That would encompass it pretty well.
Okay. Councilor Meunier, any?
I feel like those time windows are appropriate, very, very much so.
Do we generally have consensus that if there's language that needs to be added, that you feel comfortable with me kind of figuring out what that would be based on the conversations that we've had?
I think That's fine.
Okay, so which would basically make sure that we incorporate, if needed, we incorporate the driveway. I'll talk to Chief Alberti and Director Levelin about that. We'll figure out the time frame. He had even used more loose terminology like per MUTCD guidelines. I can confirm that with him. I can also look up other towns that have done this and see what the language is, because there may be other times. Well, I'll figure that out.
Yeah.
But you feel comfortable though with my ability to do that?
Yeah, I feel comfortable.
Councilor Meunier?
Absolutely.
Okay. Let's see. Any other questions or concerns about this item?
Nope.
Okay. So then I would take a motion to make a recommendation to the full city council to approve a school zone, to create new traffic rules and order, Article 10, school zone, section 1-88, to include a school zone at Mountain View School with the following language: from the center of the roundabout, the school entrance on Park Street extending a distance of 850 feet north and south along Park Street, also extending from the center of the roundabout 850 feet northwesterly on South Street, and also to include, as needed, language regarding the drive from Park Street down to Mountain View School, as well as appropriate hours of operation.
Okay.
So
moved. All right, second.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstain? Okay, so we have a motion from Councilor Meunier, second from Councilor Derby, and approved. Sorry, I didn't ask if there was any further discussion.
It's fine. No further discussion.
The only other, so I just want, oh, yes.
I believe we need to schedule a public hearing for that.
Yeah, and so I think the 17th of May, is that appropriate, Mr. President? Okay.
And for the other one,
It'll
we
be public
Just want to remind.
We did do it.
first meeting in May,
Second.
second
I
meeting in
think
May.
we-
For the
I didn't look far enough down the
Okay.
agenda, that's my
So,
fault.
I'm sorry, I just want to remind you that we have to schedule a public hearing.
Yeah, I'll make sure that we do that at
Okay.
the next
Public
meeting.
hearing will be May 17th.
That will be the request, yeah. And then the only other thing, that was the only thing I wanted to clarify, is that we have a public hearing for the Mount Tom Trailhead on 5/17, so that'll be traffic day at City
traffic
Council.
rules and orders then.
I don't have anything else for today unless anyone else wants to discuss any other items on the agenda.
When is the public hearing for the traffic?
Same.
For Mount Tom, for the East Street?
East Street.
That's 5/17, that's already been set.
Yep.
We're going to have a few public
A
hearings.
few public hearings that night.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, I'm
meeting.
expecting that we're going to have the property. The
Oh,
schools.
property.
Yes,
right.
I think it looks like it's already set based on the agenda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Any other concerns or comments about any of our old business? Like I said, I'll be able to type up a letter about the speed signs just to present as a
Okay.
action item or for information to the council.
Great.
We will get. I do promise we will get to the ordinance committee.
It's still an
I'm getting-
ordinance
I'm
too,
getting
so
there,
don't worry
man.
about that.
It's been a crazy week. Okay, if there are no other items or no other items of discussion, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Okay, so I think he beat you to it. So we have a
Second.
motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned at 6:43 p.m.
This government meeting is brought to you by Eastworks and our local cable subscribers.